Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Joshana here to do a very quick video talking about some friggin' books that I am planning to do a read along for next year. This is a pretty early little announcement, and this is going to be a very, very casual, pretty obligation-free read along. Pretty much similarly to as I did the first time I did a similar read along for Legends of the First Empire couple years ago. Anyway, when I did that, it was also very casual and not a bunch of people participated, and I anticipate that this time around, same thing. But the few people who did enjoyed it, and I mentioned it recently and someone was like, oh, I think that would be cool. And the people who love this world as much as I do, you know, I figured we can make it a little group thing. At the very least, talking on Discord about it. But yeah, recently I read Esarhaddon, the final book in the Rise and Fall trilogy, and I have yet to read the books that are currently out for Chronicles. I've now read the first one, but I need to read the other three, and then actually there's a fifth one coming out soon as well. I have backed the Kickstarter for that. But yeah, as I was reading through that and just, you know, all the Easter eggs and all the connections, and I have read MEEEEEEE Revelations, so the Rise and Fall series especially is talking about a lot of things that you end up seeing conclusions to in Revelations, and so I'm reading it, you know, just noticing all these things and like, oh my God, I know, I get it. And it was just so fun, and I was buddy reading it with Roger, who hasn't read the other books, the MEEEEEEE books. And I was just telling him, like, I'm taking notes right now, and like, not a lot, but kind of, and I'm tabbing so much that is like all these connections and Easter eggs and everything. So there are some things that I'm like, I know that's a connection, but I don't remember the details. And there's not like a whole like wiki, like a fandom wiki for this world. There is one, but it's not, I don't think it was ever like completed. I don't think it's very well kept up on. It's not thorough and complete. So I was like, I already have taken several notes, and I have like a family tree of the gods that I started when reading Legends. And I was like, I kind of want, like, this is making me want to start from the beginning and go through with the intention of just rereading the books and reliving a lot of stuff, but of like taking notes and like kind of creating my very own like little wiki for it. And if people would want that, I would like somehow try to share it, even if it's just like some Google Doc I throw together. I'm not a web designer, and that sounds like a lot to like actually make one, or maybe adding to the one that exists. I don't know how people do that. At any rate, I'm gonna, at the very least, have a Google Doc where I'm taking all these notes and like organizing it and like putting it together and whatever. And I just thought it could be fun to do this as like a read along if anyone wants to join along. I'm gonna start it next year, and yeah, I will have a Discord. I haven't made it yet. I'm sure wait a while to create that towards the end of the year. And I'll probably do, again, very casual like I did before, like live shows. I don't know if because it's so many books, I don't know if I'll do one for every single book. Maybe like for Legends, where it's a larger series, maybe like every 2 books or halfway through and then at the end. And then like for the other ones, just do like a series, like we're done with the series live show. I don't know. That will probably change, and I'm not gonna like promise anything there, because again, I'm trying to make this like a group thing and community, but like low obligation for me on my end. And due to my own reading habits and how just sometimes I just will take freaking 2.5 weeks to finish a book, even a book I'm really liking, and other times I might finish a book in a week. It just depends on the week. It depends on the days. It depends on where my head's at, what's going on in my life, whatever. So because of that, I'm not going to set strict time limits of like, this month we're reading this book, or like these 2 weeks we're reading this book, and then there's a live show. I'm gonna have a general plan for sure. And I will, of course, use the Discord to communicate, give advance notice as much as possible so people know like when I'm planning to do, if I am doing a live show. And same thing if like, because if we're not counting Chronicles, okay, and that's another thing. I'm reading through that right now. I have heard people say, and just based on what like Michael J. Sullivan himself, like how he kind of like describes it, my understanding, and after reading the first book, I feel like I agree, is for the overall like plot of the whole world, for the world of Elan, larger plot arc. Rae'Yria Chronicles does not seem to be like vital to that. Like you can skip Rae'Yria Chronicles entirely, and yes, there will be like, because it's the backstory of Royce and Hadrian. So yeah, there's gonna be like stuff that you don't know about them, and like, or you hear them say in Rae'Yria Revelations, but like you didn't read the whole book to like, they're just like mentioning it briefly, but there's a whole book about that adventure or whatever. And there certainly are like connections still, like there are definitely connections, and it seems like there's just little moments of the setup for Rae'Yria Revelations, but like anything important, basically anything vital to the overall plot that happens in Rae'Yria Chronicles, my understanding is that it gets mentioned and or fully explained in Revelations, right? So that's what I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, anyone who has completed the current Rae'Yria Chronicles books, if you're like, I highly disagree, like, and you've read Revelations, like you've read all of it, and you've read all of Chronicles, this is just my understanding, again, based on, because Michael J. Sullivan himself describes like even writing that series as that it's a series that like doesn't necessarily have to have an end, and he doesn't know if it will have an end, because it's just like their adventures. It's kind of just like fun, extra stuff. And that's what I believe Rae'Yria Chronicles is, okay? So saying all of that, I'm going to continue reading it right now. That's why I'm like even waiting to start this until next year, because I'm going to read through those books and maybe I'll change my mind. But currently I think my plan is, because I'm reading through these right now and I am like kind of taking notes and notating things like connections and stuff. And I'll keep doing that. And if I get through it and I feel like, yeah, I was right and like my understanding was correct, if that is the case, for the read-along next year, I might skip Rae'Yria Chronicles, because if I skip Rae'Yria Chronicles, then we have a book a month. And again, I could see myself reading several of these faster and being able to finish 2 books in a month, maybe some months 3 in a month. I don't know, like who knows? But I think that'll be the plan. I'm as you can see, this is all very loosey-goosey. I don't have any of this like solidified. And let me know too what your thoughts might be. Again, certainly if you've read all of these books already, including Chronicles and Revelations, and you have an opinion on like, again, I know, obviously you do get more like added context, and you get to see some stuff that's mentioned like actually like play out, like, you know, in more like you're there, you know, we're going back in time and like you're seeing it happen instead of just hearing someone talk about when that happened and whatever. Like, yeah, I get all that, but do you agree that you could just skip Chronicles and you would still have a full understanding as you would need to of like the overall plot? Let me know what your thoughts are on that. But yeah, that's that. This is probably way longer than it even needed to be, because I'm sure I chatted way too much. It is what it is. But yeah, look forward to this. Obviously, when it gets a little closer, I will remind, and like when I create the Discord towards the end of the year, I will let you guys know. But yeah, hopefully some of you will want to join. Definitely let me know if it is something that you think you're going to want to join, or at least partially join. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.